Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will be talking about canonical correlation analysis again. We have derived formula for canonical correlations and we have also derived formula for canonical variates, if I am not wrong. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we have to talk about some properties of canonical variates. Okay, I did give you some homework. I hope you have done it. I'm not going to discuss because it's very easy exercise. I think I had asked you to derive the canonical correlations and canonical variates by using, by eliminating other variable. Here we had eliminated beta and I think I had asked you to do it by eliminating alpha. So I hope you have tried that. So now we will be studying some properties of canonical variates. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what are canonical variates? First question. So the coefficients of linear combinations. We say that alpha alpha prime x and beta prime y are such that correlation between alpha prime x prime y is the canonical correlation. Okay, so these alpha prime x and beta prime y are known as canonical variates. Okay, so of course for every canonical correlation we will have one pair of canonical variates. So we saw that generally the number of canonical correlations will be minimum of P and K. Am I right? These were the notations we were using. X1, X2, XP and Y1, Y2, YK. Correct? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So number of canonical correlations is minimum of P and K generally, assuming that X and Y have non-singular variance covariance matrices. Then in that case, let me denote the canonical correlations by rho 1, rho 2. So rho 1, rho 2 to rho, let me call this number as R. Okay, the minimum of P and K. So rho R strictly greater than 0. These are the canonical correlations, and for every canonical correlation we will have one pair of canonical variates. Why? Because we will have one linear combination for which the correlation will be this, correct? So even though here I am just saying one alpha prime x and beta prime y, in reality I would have vectors alpha 1. See, my alpha 1 is no more a component of alpha. Okay, alpha 1 itself is a vector of order p cross 1. I hope you are following what I am trying to say. So alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha r, all these are p-dimensional vectors, and beta 1, beta 2, beta r, all these are k-dimensional vectors, such that correlation between alpha I prime x, beta I prime y is rho I. Okay, so first canonical correlation can be obtained by taking the first pair of canonical variates alpha 1 prime x and beta 1 prime y. Is it okay? So this is one property of canonical variates. We need to study a couple more properties of canonical variates. Let me write those down. So we saw that we did derive formula for alpha and beta, I think. So do you remember what was it?
alpha was sigma xx to the power minus 1 by 2 into gamma.
Gamma. What was gamma?
Uh,
I think I
Gamma
used.
is correlation of alpha bar x and beta bar y.
What about others? Do they also feel the same thing? Because alpha has to be a vector. If you multiply a matrix by a correlation, you won't get a vector. You will get matrix again.
Ma'am, I think gamma is the eigenvector.
Nu. I think I had used the word nu probably, not gamma. It was eigenvector, correct?
Yes, ma'am. It was the eigenvector.
Okay, so because canonical correlations are obtained via eigenvectors, we have couple more properties. What can we say about, say, correlation between alpha 1 prime x and beta 2 prime y? Can someone try? Correlation of alpha 1 prime x and beta 2 prime y. Is the question clear? So I want to talk about, in general, correlation of alpha I prime x, beta j prime y, where I and j are distinct. Yes. Let me go back to what we had. Okay. Okay, so alpha is this, sigma xx raised to minus half nu. Correct. And did we derive beta also? Yes. Beta is this. So beta also has nu. So let me copy these formulae. Alpha I would be sigma xx raised to minus half nu I, eigenvector corresponding to ith largest eigenvalue. Am I right? And beta j would be 1 by gamma j, where gamma was actually the canonical correlation. Am I right? So ideally I should not call this rho then. I should call this gamma. If we have used the word gamma. Okay, 1 by gamma j, sigma yy raised to minus 1, sigma yx, sigma xx raised to minus half nu j. Is it correct? Can someone confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I want to compute correlation between alpha I prime x and beta j prime y. So correlation between alpha I prime x, beta j prime y would be alpha I prime correlation between xy and beta j. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any other simpler way of doing this? By using perhaps the properties of canonical variates that we already know or that we had included in the derivation. Can I say this correlation is actually same as covariance between alpha I prime x and beta j prime y?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we know that all these canonical variates are standardized. That was our first constraint in the derivation, right? So it will be alpha I prime covariance between xy beta j prime, correct? So I'll follow this path. So this is alpha I prime sigma xy beta j. I'm sorry, this I don't need a prime here. Okay, and now let us substitute what is alpha I and what is beta j. So alpha I is sigma xx raised to minus half nu I. So its prime will be nu I prime sigma xx raised to minus half. Correct? Because sigma xx raised to minus half is symmetric. Then sigma xy stays as it is, and beta j is sigma yy inverse sigma yx sigma xx raised to minus half nu j. Correct? So this is nu I prime sigma xx raised to minus half sigma xy sigma yy inverse sigma yx sigma xx raised to minus half nu j. What do I know about this quantity? Does this look familiar? No?
Ma'am, this was a matrix A from which the eigenvalues nu had come out.
Correct. So basically this matrix, I mean nu I and nu j are eigenvalues of this matrix. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we
Yes.
can use the formula for eigenvectors and eigenvalues. We know in general what we have is ax equal to lambda x. If lambda is eigenvalue of a and x is the corresponding eigenvector, right? So let me use that. So I will have, oh, I forgot something. Does anyone remember what I forgot? Correct. 1 upon gamma has to be here somewhere. So 1 upon gamma j, because it comes from beta j. Correct. So 1 by gamma j has to be there. So don't follow me blindly. Please stop me if I am making a mistake. Nu I prime k nu j. Correct. And then because of our formula for eigenvalues and eigenvectors, this k nu j I can write as gamma j nu j. Correct? Ax equal to lambda x kind of stuff. So now my gamma j can get cancelled and I am left with nu I prime nu j. So these are two distinct eigenvalues. These are two distinct eigenvectors corresponding to distinct eigenvalues. And because we take them to be orthonormal, this is 0. So what did we prove? We proved that correlation between alpha I prime x and beta j prime y when I is not equal to j is 0. Okay, this is one property of canonical variates. The other properties are pretty straightforward. So correlation between alpha I prime x and beta I prime y would simply be alpha I prime sigma xy beta I, which we know by formulae will be simply gamma I. Okay, because that is how we derived it. So this is the most important property. This property is again known and trivial, and the variance property is also known and trivial. So variance of alpha prime x will be alpha I prime sigma xx alpha I, which would be 1 for every I. Similarly, variance of beta j prime y would be beta j prime sigma yy beta j, it would be 1 for every j. I going from 1 to p, j going from 1 to, ideally I and j both going from 1 to r, because we'll have only r canonical variates, r pairs of canonical variates. Is it okay? So these are the properties of canonical variates. Any doubt in the derivation of canonical correlations and canonical variates, because here we would stop the mathematical part of it. Okay, let me stop here. Thank you.